blonde and blue, tall and handsome.
That fellow loves you, too.
Michael, I've done a giddy lot of growing up while you were away. I've almost made up my mind.
Against me?
No, against marriage. I have my work to do. So much work, a lifetime is not enough to do it.
Doesn't dash me at all. It's a pre-marriage phase all bright young women go through nowadays.
Then you understand, I remain a spinster. As far as I can see, I'll be one when I'm 90.
Well, that will involve me in one of the longest courtships on record.
He's trying to pass us. Just let him try. No one's going to pass us tonight. This is our night. If you want to race, why don't you get going?
All right.
I said you're magnificent.
Everything's magnificent. Gentlemen in distress.
Dance with the loser, no?
It seems as though there are fellows in the world a lot worse than me, eh?
Yes, he was much worse, infinitely worse. He was as bad and wicked and marvelous as they come.
Oh, he was? Did you ever see him again, this devil on wheels?
Yes. I'd like to tell you about it. Oh, come, Michael. I'm old enough to confess a sin without shocking anybody.
Sin? It's not true, Lydia. Is it, Michael?
I don't know. I don't think so.
What are you laughing about?
It's quite wonderful. You all knew me so well, and even loved me, and yet you never knew me at all. It wasn't I you loved, but an imposter, an illusion that got stuck in your Boston heads.
Oh, that's not true, Lydia. You were very real.
Oh, no. There was only one real me. She lived only a little while in Macmillan Port. Do you remember it, Michael?
Yes.
My great-grandfather settled it. He built ships there and sailed them around the Horn to Africa. My grandmother was born there, my father too. And when it came to my turn to enter the world, they sailed my mother through an icy wind to Macmillan Port and reopened the old wooden house. I was born there. I was born there twice, and I died there once. Would you like to know Lydia Macmillan, gentlemen? Blow me down. I hate to go to my grave like a ghost, a silly, simpering shade that nobody ever got a real look at. Would you like a real look at me, gentlemen? A flesh and blood Lydia who was once alive?
If you don't mind being looked at.
It was long ago. So long ago. I won't mind because it never happened to me. It happened to someone who is dead. Dead as the January winds that once howled through Macmillan Port. But I remember standing along the mast of a fishing boat. There was an ugly sea running. He sat there, the storm-beaten sailorman, grinning into the icy wind and looking as pleased as a little boy on a sled. I kept wondering if his head would freeze and blow off, and mine too. But I was warm inside. warm as a kitten by a fire. It was there, the fire for both of us. And all the gales of the Atlantic couldn't blow it out. We'd been to the mainland for some provisions after a week at Macmillan Port. You see, we dashed out of Boston without even a coffee pot. We'd been living on frozen fish and bread harder than stone. Now we had our grub. Grub for me and Richard. Enough for a lifetime, it seemed. It was a house full of ghosts. Ghosts of fishermen and pirates. And every time you walked up to it, you could almost see them looking out of the windows. I remember the door. The old, big oak door with iron hinges that squealed like lost souls when you came into the house. We dropped our bundles, and Richard began to yell for food.
Get the stove going. I want steak, potatoes, and a washtub full of hot coffee. I want to swim in it.
Dinner will be served the usual hour, providing my hands aren't frozen. You were marvelous, Richard, beating into that gale. You look like a Viking.
I am a Viking, but I want some dry socks.
Oh, you're all wet. I'll get you some dry ones.
No, you idiot. That's a sure way to catch a cold, changing your clothes. Best thing's to dry out in front of a fire, all in one piece.
Oh, I'll need a hatchet to cut this butter. It's frozen. Ned, will you open the door upstairs so the bedroom gets warm?
Aye, aye. Stop fussing around. Come over here.
Richard, you'll have to lose that habit of addressing me as though I were a gang of stevedores.
Come over here, I say. You were all right in the cutter. Didn't squeal once.
I was terrified.
I knew it. That's why it was fun.
You admire me very much, don't you, Richard?
You'll do in any wind.
Now we won't go hungry for a whole year.
I'll be hungry all my life for you.
Richard, stop making love like a wolf.
I don't like those drawing room remarks. Come here, you stone bear.
Ned's looking.
Let him.
I want to laugh.
I can laugh.
Oh, darling, darling, you're wet and icy and half frozen.
No. I'm not.
No, you're not. The sea and wind are inside you, but they're warm. Do you mind if I taste salty? I remember the lamp on the table and the crack in its chimney and the oily, singed smell of its yellow light. We didn't talk. We sat and ate and listened to the storm. The little oil lamp seemed bright enough to light the world. I don't remember looking at it then, not even thinking how nice this lamp is. I was thinking only of him and of how warm the room was. But afterward, long afterward, I hung around that smelly oil lamp like a moth. I burned up in it.